Hi, it's Marieta. Thank you so much for tuning in today's video. I want to talk about the navigation or how to navigate the symptoms, how to deal with symptoms of the Great Awakening or spiritual awakening or whatever you want to call it. Coming up. Alright, so let's talk about how you navigate the symptoms, how to cope with symptoms of the great spiritual awakening that we are experiencing on larger scale. In the previous video that I made, I talk about the symptoms. Obviously, these were symptoms, some of the symptoms that I have experienced myself and some of the symptoms my friends experienced over the years and some of my clients as well. So you want to go back and check it out. And in this video, I want to talk about how you cope with spiritual awakening because, spiritual awakening, it takes some time, sometimes a couple of years, and it's not pleasant, as many of us, we already know that. And how do you deal with that? Because sometimes it feels like pretty hardcore, dark night of the soul. So how do you deal with dark night of the soul or spiritual awakening? Tip number one I want to give you is to start serious meditation practice. Now, I do understand that practicing meditation is not something you would normally do because why would you practice meditation? Why would you just sit in silence or just sit in general by yourself, do nothing, and observe your thoughts? Like, who on earth does that, right? Like, this is something I was kind of asking myself for quite some time, and I would read a lot about meditation, but I wouldn't practice because why would I practice? Why would I just sit and meditate? Like, what a ridiculous thing. And I also thought that meditation practice is only for monks or yogis, and I didn't really perceive meditation as something that normal people do, right, on a daily basis. But then, over the years, I would read these different books and I started to finally meditate, and there is a difference between meditation when you meditate 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and 1 hour, or when you go to completely full-blown silence retreat where you meditate between 12 to 16 hours a day. So until I went to one of these retreats, this was my first retreat 4 years ago, I had no idea what meditation was. So meditation is basically opportunity to get to know yourself. It's it's a wonderful opportunity to get to know your own thoughts and your mind, the way your mind actually works. And it's not pleasant. No, it's not. Especially when you are trying to overcome yourself, when you're trying to overcome your patterns that you created literally in your brain. It's not pleasant, but it's an ultimate tool that is going to help you to navigate this dark night of your soul, and it's also going to help you to sustain the challenges. And it's because you're going to be able to observe yourself and you're going to be able to detach from what's happening, and you're not necessarily going to take it personally. So this is a wonderful tool how you can actually start kind of awakening to the truth. And the more you meditate, the more awareness level you bring to your life. As a result, you actually increase your consciousness and you are entering different frequencies and you start perceiving reality in a very different way. So I'm a big fan of meditation practice. I don't suggest you start with silence vipassana practice right away. I suggest you start with guided meditation. There are so many wonderful guided meditations, free meditations on YouTube channel. But there is also, I personally work with meditation from Dr. Joe Dispenza. These are longer meditations and wonderful meditations because he's actually using things that will bring you to that state or different frequency or dimension, whatever you want to call it, faster. And if you just sit in silence, it's going to take some time. But I do highly recommend the silence retreats as well, especially if you are already practicing meditation and you want to dig deeper. So I'm going to link the video for you that I made where I did talk about my experience with Vipassana. And I'm also going to link a video where I did talk about my experience with Dr. Joe Dispenza retreat. It was a wonderful experience. I recommend it to everybody. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is to love yourself. And this is something that, you know, everybody talks about. Love yourself, love yourself, love yourself. But what does it really mean? Actually, the way I see it is that don't punish yourself for feeling not okay. So accept yourself the way you are. It's full acceptance of what you're going through, and without feeling any guilt, without feeling like there is something wrong with you, because there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. You are actually somebody who is going through a serious awakening in order to bring the best out of you, in order to merge your higher self with your lower self, and in order to make a difference here, not just for yourself, but for other people. And so I think it's important to accept yourself for who you are, especially if you're going through a difficult time, because this time that you're going through is actually going to show you how powerful you are. You know, everybody is amazing when they are on top of their game, you know, but what really defines you is how you handle the dark time in your life, how you handle the difficult situation in your life. Those are the times that really define you, you know, because those are the times that are pushing you. And in other words, it feels like rebirth. And it's rebirth because you're becoming the better version of yourself, the stronger version of yourself. But that version cannot come forward if you feel sorry for yourself, if you feel like a victim, or if you beat yourself up. And that is why I think self-love and full acceptance of what is so important, because there's so many positive books out there talking about the law of attraction. And by the way, Love is the Law book is one of them, but I also talk about the importance of accepting the darkness, because the darkness within you is the tool, the pain within you is the tool to bring you to the other side. And so if we suppress this darkness, if we beat ourselves up for feeling this way, we cannot really shine the light to the darkness. The darkness disappears when we shine the light. So the way you actually shine the light is when you accept yourself for whatever you're going through, and accept it and understand it's okay. It's okay. You are still here. You're still alive. You are still breathing. And that is a major, just because you exist, there is a reason, there is a big reason. So do not question yourself just because you feel low, or you feel down, or you're going through this dark time. So self-love is really the key. Step number 3 is community. Now, in the previous video where I talk about the symptoms of awakening, I did mention that this feels like you are entering the lonely phase, right? And it's because the old relationships are collapsing and you don't have new relationships in your life, and you might feel lonely, you might feel lost, you might feel like nobody understands you, you might feel like you cannot really talk to your old friends and family members about what you're going through, because they look at you like something is wrong with you. And these are the symptoms. This is the symptom of awakening. So sense of community, feeling supported during this time is so important, because I remember myself when my first awakening started. It was 7 years ago. I felt so lonely, and I felt like there was something seriously wrong with me. And it was because I was comparing myself with the other people, with my old friends, family members, and other people's whose life seemed normal. And my life, on the other hand, looked like not normal. And I felt like there's something wrong with me because I'm not like them. I don't understand how come they never ask these deeper questions. Like, I was questioning everything, and I felt super lonely. And looking back, I know that if I had some sort of community around me of people who are going through the same, that would definitely support me and help me. So you are not alone, guys. The reason I'm doing these videos is really to show you that you are not alone. And you can join my Facebook group, for example. The link is going to be below. You can message me. You can start a conversation under this channel in the comment section, so you can see that there you are not alone, because it's so important to feel that you still belong. And just because you don't know these people right now doesn't mean they don't exist. They are out there. There are actually many people like you who are awakening, who are going through the same difficulty, who feel the exact same way you feel right now, and they are looking for someone like you. But the only way to find these people is to really be honest and to speak up, right? And so speak up, express yourself, even though it's not what you used to say, it's something different. You are changing, and it's okay. So these are the 3 major tips that I would give you. Additionally, I would say that it's so important to actually exercise, workout on a daily basis when you're going through this awakening, because that's just the stronger body, the better your mind gets, the stronger your mind, and vice versa. Your mind is supporting the body and the body is supporting your mind, and it's all connected. So you want to actually keep the balance. And exercise, daily workout is super important. On top of that, make sure to sleep well, make sure to eat good food, because again, what you eat is energy. Food is energy, right? And I coach my clients this all the time, simplify your life. Go back to basics. Eat healthy food, drink water, don't eat sugar, go back to bed early, get some sleep, and meditate. These are basics, but these basics will balance you. And if you do this on long-term basis, it's definitely going to show some results in your life, and you're going to feel better. So because it takes a lot of energy to basically let go of the old self, and you are increasing the frequency within you as you are awakening, and as you are shedding the old self, you're becoming the new self. It takes a lot of energy. So you want to be surrounded by supportive people, tribe that is high vibe, I call it. You definitely want to consume high vibe stuff, high vibe food, and you want to keep your energy up and high. And even if you feel like you don't have a good day, you know what? It's perfectly okay. You don't beat yourself up. You're going through this. You will go through this, and one day it's gonna make perfect sense. So I hope this is helpful. If you like my video, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit that bell notification button, check out my Instagram at Marieta Oslanec, and also check out my book, Love is the Law. The link is gonna be below. The Facebook group is going to be below, and there is also going to be the 21-day challenge, how you activate your genius, how you uplift yourself, and that's gonna help you to boost the energy, and you're going to activate your higher self. So that's gonna help you go through this difficult time. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Love you. See you soon. Bye.